Okay, hello. I am back, at least for a little bit here. It is Saturday, November 29th. I'm here with Wombat. Hello, Wombat. And his little snuggie here. I have been out the past week and a half, well, 2 weeks maybe or so, with illness, and I was traveling, and the holiday and everything. But I wanted to at least do a little bit of a, well, first of all, I'm hoping to get back into this over the next couple of weeks in December. And I want to get back into this right now. I had a little thing that I wanted to share, both a little utility, a way of using visidata, and I wanted to make a little fix here to make it even better. So let me at least start here by showing off this thing. So what I actually had been doing here, I was looking at YouTube, and I had a playlist somewhere anyway, one of my playlists, and I'll find it just so I can, actually wait, I think I have it in my queue here. Here we go. Yeah, so I had a playlist, and I got YTDLP YouTube downloader, and I can look at this playlist here, and so this -J option and flat playlist, this is how you look at a playlist. -J puts it in JSON, you just give the URL of the playlist, and then it'll show you the whole playlist. And here's all the titles of these songs, and the channel it came from, etc. And here's the ID field. Now, all I really wanted to do, I wanted to download these individual songs. Basically, I wanted to have them locally so I could play them on a different medium. So I did have this, I had to make this little script. There's a way to use YouTube DL. Actually, do I have YouTube DL? No, I think it's just YTDL. I got to change that. But YouTube DL, right? Well, I have to install. Oh, it's YTDLP. Okay, let's edit this here. YTDLP. Anyway, you give it a. In this case, a -X extracts the literal sound from it only, and then down the archive, you give it a file in which it stores the IDs that you've already downloaded, so it won't download the things again, which is handy. Over here. And then, yeah, and then I learned I actually had to add a double hyphen here so that arguments or IDs that have a leading hyphen, which some of them do, won't be interpreted as an option. So anyway, so I need a little tiny little script to do this a little easier. So I can just do YTDL now and give it a single ID, and then it'll download it. So I did that, and on a single one, it works. I can verify that if I need to, but then I was like, how do I do all 200 of these? Well, actually, first I did how do I do with 15 of these. And you can easily do this with visidata. I'm going to start with just a couple here. I'm going to do the top 3, pull them off their own sheet. And if you use Z semicolon, this allows you to create a column, actually it's 2 columns, based on a shell command. So if I do YTDL with the ID, the $sign makes it give a column and as an argument here. And if I just do this, this will create a column, 2 columns rather. And okay, well, actually that's an issue there. What was it called? YTDL. Oh, I don't have my path. Is that right? Yeah, okay, I have to actually add. Let me start over here. I'm going to quit out of this. We're going to actually add export path equals bin path. Now if I do YTDL, there it is. So, here we go. Okay, let's try this again. So we're loading it, pull these first 3 in here, and now if we create this YTDL on here, it'll add these 2 columns, one for standard out and one for standard error. And it's actually working now. It's launched 3 different processes, and they should be downloading these things. And in fact, if we look at the output here, let me just expand this. Oh, look at that. I think it's actually working. which would make sense. I mean, I tried this before. And so here it is, just downloaded it. I think it's actually completely worked. And, well, I managed to get rid of that page, but I guess I could have, yeah, I can actually G-Shift-S, pull that one back. Here we are. Here's the standard error and standard out. But anyway, it had actually done this. You can get a warning every time, which wasn't doing on my other computer. Here it is. So I think I have to like upgrade YT, the actual YT-DLP script. But for the first degree, the functionality actually has worked. So like I said, if you look at here, I've downloaded these 3 songs, 2 electro swing songs, and a little song by Nick Shoulders, who's a talented artist. I actually removed them. And yeah, so anyway, so that works. And like you saw here, it took a few seconds for it to do it, and otherwise it was fine. Now, the problem that I ran into, and this is why we're going to do a little bit of work today, is that if we do this with all 200 here and just create the column now, it's going to launch, well, on this sheet, it'll actually only launch 20 processes because that's the only ones that are visible. If I have a much bigger sheet, here it'll launch, I don't know, how many, 50 or 60 on a page. And if I start scrolling down, it's going to launch processes based on everything that it sees. When it's a smaller or a cheaper function, then it's not a big deal. But with this, we're spawning a whole process and waiting however many seconds for it to complete. I mean, launching 200 processes, it actually did complete. It actually did work, but it kind of brought my machine to a crawl and then made the whole interface difficult. So what I want to do today is create, so I'm already in this shell here. I did a little bit of pre-research here. And so what this is doing when we do the Z semicolon here is we're adding these shell columns. Actually, first we add a column shell. I think it should be probably called shell column, but it's neither here nor there. And that's an invisible column. We can see that. We can't see it here. We can see it in the other sheet. It's an invisible column that's got both of these values in here. Basically, it returns the. Let's see, what does it return here? It returns the. Oh yeah, the pair, p communicate. This is a subprocess p open. And when you call communicate on that, it sends the standard in, which we don't have into it. It gets standard out and standard error. We get pipes that we have here, and it returns a tuple of those things. So this one here is the tuple, and then we extract the pieces of the tuple and take off the trailing white space. So that's all this is doing, and what I wanted to do instead is I wanted to do the same exact thing, so I wanted to start up a queue of processes so that if we have 200 things being launched or supposedly being launched, we wouldn't launch them straight away. We would put them into the queue and launch them as they become ready, and we'll provide like a future for them to provide a pretend, in process result before they're done. Once they're done, then it provides the real result. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And I feel like there must be a Python future or something like this we could do this already with. I'm not sure. Part of me just wants to code it by myself and not delve deeper into the Python standard library. I suppose I could do a modicum of research here. Let me actually do this. Python standard library features. No, it's more like a queue or a, is it a queue? Process queue? Future is not the right word. Oh, promises, that's the actual word. One of the words that might make more sense. There's a library. If I don't want to use extra libraries, maybe there's something in the standard library. Oh, I could do more async await stuff. I think I might be doing it myself here just to. Oh, I see. So this is actually in async IO, and that would be, honestly, I probably should do a little bit. Yeah. So I could do some interesting stuff here with this, and I probably should spend a lot of time thinking about this. But this would be a pretty substantial reorganization of visidata. We don't use async, but we don't use Python's async stuff at all. The way we do it in visidata is we have an async thread. This is an async cache, which basically means that it's running these things async and then filling them in. So I'm providing half of this here. Here's async cache. This is me actually also getting the current state of the code loaded into my brain here. The idea is that, yeah, the first call spawns the thread and then waits for it to get the result. It stuffs the result in a dictionary here. And then when it's done, it gets the result out. And it's fine. Otherwise, it's populating it with the actual async object. This returns a thread here, so you can kind of like see the thread in action. So that's how async cache works. We're doing on this calc value here, but I'm thinking we're going to factor this out into another class, or yeah, I think it's a class. It's going to be a class that monitors that. I think it'll be actually a shell process queue. And so we're doing this parsing, not that, doing this parsing down here. Hello to whomever joined us here. Make sure I'm seeing the chat properly. Greetings anyway. And anyway, yeah, so we're looking at this. There we go. Okay, so we're looking at this shell queue we're going to make. So yeah, so right, we're doing this parsing here. This doesn't take much time and energy at all. It's all this, actually this pcommunicate does all the work. You can probably create the process if we really wanted to. But I think I'm going to wait. This might be, actually might be millions. I mean, millions is quite heavy, but maybe there's tens of thousands or even more individual processes. We don't want to even spawn 10,000 processes. We want to wait until we're going to have a queue of, I don't know, 10 processes or so. And then we'll basically have those 10 being run when one stops, another one will be added. So let's see how we can pull this off. So we're going to make this process queue. And like I said, there probably is either a built-in way of doing this or a better way of doing it, but I'm just going to bang it out. This is both for me to get this feature into visidata, or the nicety, because I actually wanted to use this, and also a way for me to kind of get back into the swing of things. So a little process queue here. Let's see here. We're going to basically say, give me a, it's a queue command, and we actually are giving it those, the actual command, so it's command args. I don't necessarily need to have it be a star command args. It could just be command args. Maybe it will be actually. And then we're gonna add it on there. If, well, let's just right now we're just gonna spawn it off. So when we do this, we're actually gonna run the. Okay, this is gonna be run command here. And it's going to be boop, boop, boop. And schlex join args. Okay. So we're going to stuff it into a list, and then we're going to run one of them. And actually, this is the thing here. So this one here is going to be an async thread. Now, do I need anything else from here? Right, when it's done, it's going to put the result into, let's see how it's going to do this. That's right, I actually need a command object. Actually, we do it. It's a process command. And so this is going to be so there's three cases here. There's going to be either it's been spawned already versus it's not been spawned versus it's completed, and here's the result. And so it's either going to be waiting to spawn, or waiting to complete, maybe with a time even, that'd be kind of nice, or value if completed. And actually, we have a get standard. We have both get standard in and standard out. Okay. Let's do this here. Standard in, standard out. Return waiting for now. Actually, I need to create a constructor here. This is going to be the command args. Let's save off. And then when we run it, we're actually going to do this bit here. We're not going to return it. We're actually just going to say self.standardin, self. Not standard in, standard out, and standard error. Yeah, it's getting a little bit to me here. And there we go. So yeah, it's going to assume the existence of bash, which is, well, I guess it's going to use our shell argument. And then it's going to provide the command args, self command args. It's done to run. I'm not going to run it just yet. Self.command args, and self.standardin. Equals waiting to spawn. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do waiting to spawn. Let's standard in again. Standard out and standard error. And then down here, when we actually launch it, we're going to say waiting to complete. I think I could be a little bit, maybe a little more clever with this at some point, but not right now. And no. Okay, we're gonna do here's the process. The process is the actual proc is no. We are gonna bother with that. Okay. So self.proc equals that. And then here for the standard out and standard error, we're going to say self.standard out or waiting to spawn if waiting to complete if self.proc else waiting to spawn. And again, we can do a lot more. We're gonna change this up here. Okay. Otherwise, it's self.proc. We return waiting to complete, and we can eventually or very soon actually give that how long has it been waiting? Kind of nice. And so we're not going to bother with this, and we'll finally do that. Okay. So same exact thing here. Standard error instead. And let's see. Waiting. Good. Okay. So self.proc. Let's go ahead and raise already started process for So we're just going to show the actual command. It's kind of gross, but fine. And so here's our little subprocess command object that will not spawn anything that we call run on it. And then maybe this run should be async thread. It's a possibility. In fact, for now we're just going to think of it that way. But first of all, we're going to look through here. Here's our little queue. So we queue a command. We're going to create a queue object. It's going to be, I'm going to make it be a dictionary that maps the actual command args. Maybe not the tuple. Maybe I should actually have the Lux version in there, huh? To subprocess object. Process command. Oh, now we're gonna nail this. This won't be too hard, hopefully. So when we queue the command, we're gonna say command args. Well, if command args not in, it is in the queue already, then we'll raise again. Raise? I don't know. We'll see how this works. Already queued. Otherwise, we're going to set it equal to subprocess command with the command args. Okay. Now, the main difficulty here is going to be running exactly or maximally 10. Let's just say we're going to have an option for this, but the 10 commands at once. And when one stops or finishes, we want to queue up the next one. So that actually means, I think, that this is not the async thread here. I think, because we want to be able to detect when it finishes. So we're going to have a run command here, and it's going to pick one off of the queue. Well, okay, so the issue is that we can, sorry, I'm thinking this through here. If the command is already in the queue and it hasn't started yet, then if you try to add the same command into the queue, it will fail. There's an exception here, that's what we've got. I'm thinking of making this queue be only the ones that haven't been started yet, and so it'll be fine if we add the same command multiple times, though it's not going to add the same command multiple times, and they each complete, it's going to keep adding them over and over again. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a way to cache this so that you can get the same process command object back. Maybe I will. I guess you probably can do that. You can do it's not going to be queue. Nice. Sorry, I'm busy thinking here. It's I think it is a cache. This is that'd be a cached property. What is that? Like cache, cache. Decorator, func tools, there we go. Oh yeah, it's cache. Okay, I think I was just overthinking this here. So I'm wondering if it shouldn't be not queue command, it should be, get subprocess command for, and then this will be cache, functools.cache, and then basically we're going to put it into the queue and return it. Here, key equals. I like having multiple assignments in the same line. Not everybody does. It's for here for now. So, okay. So we're going to have a get subhouse command for that. We're going to cache it. No, it's not. And so that'll guarantee that we only get one per set of command args. And then when we queue a command, oh, actually, wait a second. I don't want that. I want this. And then when we queue a command first, okay, we're going to queue the command args. So this is the first time we ever see command args at all. Well, on a single process queue, which will be this page. So maybe we want to be a little outside of this, but we'll figure this out. The first, and actually that matter, maybe it's visidata itself. The visidata object has this, and that the process queue. But anyway, it doesn't matter as long as we're getting this here. So the first time we do it, we do. Okay, so the first time we see these command args, we return this, which adds it into the queue as a fresh thing, and then returns it. And that's what we'll have. To do that, see. And so no big deal. And then every subsequent time, it's going to return the cached object, which is fine. It'll either won't have run, or will be running, or will have already run. It'll be the same object, but that's fine. We wrote that above there. And then now we have a queue of things. And so this, I think we're going to do something here where we're going to be like, if we have fewer active things than the number of possible concurrent things, then we'll run more. Let's see here. So yeah, I think we're going to maintain a list of active procs. This has to be an existing. Yeah, there has. Well, I'm sure there are plenty of libraries that will do this. So we're going to do a self run to capacity. I don't know, something like that. Then we'll have a run to capacity thing here. Run to capacity. That will just look for the number if the length of self-active procs is less than BD options. Let's just call it active procs for now. Then if it's greater than that, then we're just going to return. That's fine. Greater than or equal to. If it's not, then we're going to literally run another one. This is where we do want the run command, and it'll take a proc. We have here a subproc process command, and this is going to be async thread and call proc.run. And then once we do that, it will be filled up. But once this command is over, we can take it out. So we put it into active procs here. I mean, it's not strictly necessary, but I guess it might not be a. Well, I think it'll give us an error. I think it's going to be proc.command_args. So this will be command args to. Sure, there's a process command again. delete it at the end. Basically, we add it into our ActiveProc thing, run it, and then delete it. And so this is just going to do 1. And then after we delete it, then I think we should be kind of constantly chaining this. So now we should be running run to capacity again, and I just figure it out. Although now we're going to have multiple things doing that asynchronously. Well, so one thing we can do I'm basically thinking about the case. So like there's a couple of different ways we do this. We can do this run to capacity concept where every time we're checking to see how many things are running and then kind of spawning new processes when they're when it's lower than that, which is more resilient. It'll spawn more processes, but then if there'll be a gap when something has finished, and then it will try to be launching more processes. But before it's launched them, it's going to other processes may finish, and then it'll launch something else there. And so it may be that we have more than the strict number. Another way we can do this is to say, well, there's going to be maximum of options active procs running at any time. We start that many, and then every one, when it's done, pulls another one out of the queue. But then if the queue isn't always full, it'll say, oh, I don't have anything more here, and they'll stop, and they'll add something more to the queue, but there won't be a process to take it up. And we can run this run to capacity. I'm thinking that this run to capacity is more robust. It won't be as exact in terms of maintaining the number of processes, but maybe it's good enough. Okay, so we're going to run this to capacity, and then we're going to basically how many we run. Actually, we should just do a for loop for I in range from length of self active procs 0, which is ideal for the first case anyway, to the number of active procs. I'll go ahead and create this right now. The option. There you go. Active procs. I don't like that, but for now, number of concurrent processes. For now. Okay, and so we're going to have this b plus 1, sure, and then we're going to launch a new one to get out of the queue. So we're going to do self.queue.pop. First one, I pop off the dictionary. I can need both. Python get pop. It just gives me the value. Move specified key. Oh, I wish the Python docs were first. This is my problem. Bang pi, is that right? Okay, fine. Easy enough. Pop. If key is not given, I'll say, oh, pop item. Last in, first out order. That's unfortunate. But maybe that's fine. LIFO order guaranteed. No, I prefer FIFO, but LIFO's fine, I think. So pop item. That's a queue.pop item. That's a key and a value. And then we can actually just call v dot. Oh, it's run command, self run command v. So I probably don't need this first if statement here. I can probably just get away with this. Okay, so we have to wire this up now. We have to actually call queue command in there and then change these columns. So I moved this out of the way. So now it's doing this. I have these args. I don't need schlex up top here. Oh wow. Oh, that's not okay. Here we go. Schlex up here. Fine. So this is in here. When we calculate the value, we're actually, I kind of think this async cache is no longer, I mean, ideally this async cache should be handling this thing. Maybe it's just, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe it should be moved into here. And this should have the number of concurrent threads. Maybe I am doing a lot of extra work for that. Do I want to do that? I want to just, I mean, if I can move this functionality I just wrote into async cache, because honestly, spawning 1,000 threads is also a bit of a problem, depending on what the threads are doing. And this, what's that function? What's the, oh, the key is, okay, produced by the row ID. Yeah, maybe I do that. Maybe that was a big, well, that'd be nice. We're gonna move this back here. You know, I have to see what I changed here. Okay. Check out. No. Yes. Okay. So get that back here. And so yeah, if I maybe if I maybe just change async cache, I don't have to do anything else here. All this functionality gets moved into async cache. Well, let's try it. So far I've just been thinking. So I haven't actually even tried anything else out here yet. So we don't even, I think, okay, so we're going to make an object when if you get anything on it but the under functions, you'll get a get adder, I think it is, a key, and if it's not, not self.result, if self.proc, this again. So I guess it's gonna forward it on to the results. Sorry. Makes a little more sense, I think. Although this won't work for when the result. It's expecting the result to be tuple. If the result is actually none, that's not going to be good. Yeah. So we'll keep thinking about it here. Okay, so let's see. I am kind of going back and forth here. If I want this to work, we're going to create, we have a queue, well, we have a global queue. We don't, it shouldn't even be per decorator. It should be global for the whole system. You got 10 threads. If you got 100 on 2 sheets, it'll run 10 at a time until it does them all. That makes sense to me. It's a global process queue, so actually it's going to be on the visidata object after all. Okay, I'm going to wire this up. Whenever we run okay. Yeah, just I want to make sure I'm structuring this right. So this func is the literal, right, and it returns a get. So we do put an object in there for everything. And I think we're kind of in the same place here. Instead of if we put in the subprocess command, well, no, it's kind of, we are kind of expanding this here. Okay, not this. We're going to be calling this an async func. Again, I thought there was a this is going to take this. Actually, I think it's this here. Shove them into a queue. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. Shove them into a queue. I had before. But instead of subprocesses, they're going to be functions, and the functions are just going to do it. And return the result and stuff it into the results. Yeah, I'm a little nervous here, changing this async. I don't think many people are using it. In fact, only they're using it. That makes me feel a little better. Interesting. I had a little note here about async cache. Okay, so we have an async func. It's not an async func, it's like a queue func, maybe? And the key does take that. It's a queued function. This is the func, and the args, and the quargs. And then we're going to say args equals args, quargs, and result equals 9. Let's just make it do that. false. Okay. So we create that, and then when we call it, when we run it, this is where we have this up here. We don't need to do any of that stuff. It's just going to call the function. It's both the beauty and the curse of Python, right? So you can do anything, and you have to think a little bit more abstractly. So when we call it, that's the key function. No, here we go. Exec async. Okay, here we go. So this is going to proc equals exec async. That function. Yeah, I don't think I need to store the decorator there. There's a chance this gets simpler. I need to like zoom out a little bit and not let it be too daunting. Proc equals that. Maybe I'm overthinking this here. This is going to be an async thread. I'm just going to call it. Oh, I do want to. Yeah, outside of this, we're gonna say okay, run async or whatever, and this is going to be a run, and it's going to say self.proc equals self.run async with the various pieces. And this is just going to call result. First of all, this proc has to be in there. Equals none. Proc equals run async. Result equals self.func. Self.args. Self.args. Okay, and then we have to have this manager here. So I think we're done with this. I don't think we need this anymore. It's funny, it's a lot of typing to get my head back in the game, but c'est la vie. And then we don't need most of this, I think, here. We're going to have, when we queue a command, I think we are going to move this off here. So I don't think we need this. I think we need the queued func. Fine, it stores its args, quarks, func. Oh, when it's called, and then when you get the result, we're going to have a result property or something that's going to be like a mock that always returns the waiting. Oh, with a mock, of course, instead of making our own little thing. Okay, and then we are going to make this little guy on visidata, this little process queue. So we want to queue the command, queue func rather, and it's going to be func args quargs, visidata, queue func, func args quargs. And we have to put it in somewhere, which that was in this, what we were thinking about doing up here, where we're going to put it into a queue and then have the, I guess, active procs, right? So we're going to have visidata.active procs. No, this isn't a queued procs. Queued funcs. And this is where the key matters here. Okay, so queued funcs, and this is actually not just that key, but like the function name. Right now we're going to have, if the args, I'll deal with it in a moment, and we'll fix that in post. And I forgot to proxy, it's QF. So we're adding the queued func to the list of queued funcs. Now we can call this run to capacity, I guess. This is exactly what we've got here. So we have to do a visidata on what's VD in it. Oh, we don't do VD. It's still it's a God object, so we just do VD queued funcs. Got that, and then we're going to make this run to capacity thing here. And it's going to be nothing. And it's going to be very much this. VD active procs, and VD options active procs, and VD active procs. There is like an... Here at the exact moment, I'm actually wondering if we shouldn't be literally using the same... I mean, in here, is it in here? I saw something that was like the active threads. Oh, it isn't at the top here. This current threads. Isn't there like an active threads for visidata? Unfinished threads. There we go. So maybe we can even overload unfinished, not overload, but reuse unfinished threads if there are too many. We wait. Oh, the problem is, that's right. This is fine, but we need to be able to spawn more when it goes down. I guess we could do that literally at the end of every... Okay, let's find out. Might be a little ugly, but let's unfinished threads is a property. Here we go. So if I'm actually reading up an active procs even, it might be just if the unfinished threads is less than, or while unfinished threads is less than, no, because it shouldn't be. No, I think the range is actually the best way to do this here. And we'll only do like a handful. Like, how many are there? Unfinished threads. And if there's 0, then it'll run this until it's done. And we're going to say vd.queued funcs pop item, key and the queued func. And then we actually call queuedfunc.run, or queuedfunc.run. It's queuedfunc.run. And then the issue is we want, oh, if there's no pop item, then it will, yeah, we're gonna, if vd.queueFuncs. Oh, so if it's if not vd.queueFuncs. Great. We don't need active procs here anymore because we're going to use unfinished threads. And the queueFuncs we do need, is what we're putting in there. queueFuncs. Now, I can ditch this whole process queue thing that I've been concocting. This is the only piece that we haven't figured out here yet. So basically, we have we can run functions no problem here, async. At least I'm guessing we can. But once a function, async function, has finished running, we want to run this run to capacity function again. And how do we detect that? Basically, we could either put it at the end of async thread, or might be the best place to put it for the moment. We kind of integrate this more fully into the whole async cache concept or async thread concept. I don't mind it, I think. Okay. So if we, let me do this here first. This is going to be, yeah, I have to, it's funny, like this actual function isn't useful at all now. I have to incorporate the functionality into this other, I think it's over here. It's in the end of exec async or top level try-func, is that right? Yeah. Okay, and the other thing we have to make sure of is that when we're in single process mode, like we don't allow any asynchronous threads, that we still run everything. I think that'll still work. Well, let's do this here. So I put way too much work into this functionality here to make sure that we were keeping track of the threads properly and not letting anything slip through. And I think that works. But anyway, double try-func. Yeah. Status, thread status. Okay. So this may have to be on that's it, huh? Yeah. So this I think I'm gonna have to make this be a visidata API, and we'll actually call that on there. It's the only time it's used. I mean, I guess we don't strictly have to. Oh, look at that down there. We're not even. We don't need to. We're just gonna leave that as it is. We're gonna use VD anyway because it is a global object. So, and so we're gonna looking at whether or not we're gonna call VD run to capacity. I think that's probably the. Maybe that's the only answer. Just sit here, at the end of the function, if it gets aborted or it creates an exception, we just run more things. Well, this might actually work. No, let me see this. What do we got? In the shell, did I add anything? There we go. So I moved that out of there, but we're gonna put that back. yes, no, yes, yes, no, no. Okay. So here's the changes we've got. We've got this queued function, which knows how to run itself, and two functions on is it. One of them which is queues the function, which is not currently being called, so I'll have to do that. And then at the end of asynccache, we call render capacity. Okay, so let's do this here. We have to call queue function. We're not yet. So in async cache is where we're going to do this first here. You have to call this queue. Sorry, decorators always are like one level more complicated than I want, or than I can track easily, so I have to think this through. So we're returning this function for it to run, and then it does run it, and then it should execute asynchronously, but actually we're going to be creating this and the queue func does take a key now. Okay, this is all fine. Do I care about the key? I remember this being necessary for, I think. Yeah, I don't. Right. So we only call it that's right, we only call it the once. It can be called multiple times, but it's only going to create the thread, hopefully, once. I think we'll do the exact same thing. Actually, we're going to do that. We're going to call this vdqfunc. We'll get the... I'm just going to put its own thing in there. This is going to give us the queued func. This is going to be the result. Let's call it result. And this result's going to be a mock after all. Until it gets run. So basically, okay, so this is going to queue it up. It's not already there. If it is there, it's going to get get k.result. Yeah. And result is under. Should be under result here. Well, wait a second. Is this really going to be good? Func, we'll change that with a mock. I'm not using the call here. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that'll be it. So, okay, and we're going to rely, instead of an exec async, we're going to be using the async thread decorator here. It's a little bit of a runaround, but maybe it's okay. And we'll... Every time to test this out. Oh, I have to move this other active procs into this place over here. max procs. Active procs, max procs. Yeah, so we have two render capacities in here, one when a thread ends and one when you queue up. The chance that it overspawns first before the threads are started. We can find out though. Okay, I guess let's see what happens if we're going to try it with a very small use case here first. We're going to get a little window here. I shell that call. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to, I guess, some temp thing here. Temp, right? Okay, I got crap in there. And so now we're going to run the VD command again. Oh, okay, well, nothing's going to work until we fix that. Let's have it. 56, we have an async thread. Oh, is it in here? No, we're somewhere else. Okay, we can import async thread. Async thread. And then fine. If we go down here and tag 3 of these. Oh, delete video. That's not the out. And then run that same command we had. Type error. Column shell. What? Oh, this takes a key. Takes a key? No. Wait. Must be not column shell. Why did it make a column shell? What did I miss? What would a column shell be in there? Shell call? Source call? Column shell. Get value. Oh! Column shell is really the first parameter of this. I think I did miss. I think I'm. Yeah. Okay, so we are qfunc. We're calling star args. Where's our qfunc? There it is. Oh, we're calling star args. We shouldn't. Okay. So yeah. Okay, we'll just do this. Well, not super psyched about that, but. Let's try it. So, boom. Tuple not callable. So that func. tuple. Q func, the second parameter. Oh, the key comes first. Okay, whatever. Okay, so down with it. I'm gonna have every problem here. Calc value missing the row. Let me call it func. Pass in the args. And when we run the func, it expands the args. Okay. Well, that seems legit. And it's missing the row somehow. I think I'm missing something here. It's pretty minor, but obviously breaking. So we've got the qfunc key func args, key func args quarks. Value missing the row. What did I miss? Oh! I actually do need to pass these. Okay, let's see. I know. This is goofball. This key needs to go there, because that's calling up here. And this function needs to call it straight, I guess. What's the problem with that then? Why didn't that work? Tuple not callable. Func here. So cube func doesn't take a key. That's the issue. Okay. A lot of layers here. Okay, so it's added those shell things. Let me just look at temp and see what's going on here. It's not actually doing it. Why is there an error? Oh. Okay, so now we have actual errors. Q func takes 4, but 5 were given on there. Oh, I do want that. Okay. Okay, let's see when. So let's pass those in. Wait. It's using the key here. Huh. I need in both places? You know, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Not in both places. Maybe I don't need it up there. I'm debating whether this key that we're passing in, I definitely need, or think I need in one of these places anyway. Kinda hate it. At least that'll fix it for now. We can clean it up after the fact. And I'm doing this only 3 at a time here so I can make sure that the thing first works before I try to... No, it has to be part of the arguments. What am I doing? I can't reuse that key. Oh. Maybe it's just queued funcs. You know what? I don't need the key in there at all. What am I even doing? I'm going to append this. Oh, there. And queued funcs, then it's going to be a list. Okay, whatever. And I don't have to pop it. I'm just going to pop off the list. Pop the 0. Oh, whatever. And I don't need the key. That's fine. And then the key in here doesn't go. Oh, it does need to go because that's going to be the first argument up there. And this queuefunc, eventually once I'm calling this, which uses the thing, but everything else is legit. Okay, I think that might be it. Don't panic. Non-iterable queuefunc objects. I'm gonna unpack. Oh, because it's just a single thing now. Yeah, okay. Oh boy. 3. Tuple has no result. Okay. So now we're getting closer. This get comes from the return value of queuefunc. Oh, wait, what? We're not returning anything here? That's odd. I thought that didn't do anything at all, though. Huh. Oh, okay. So first of all, we do need to return this. But second of all, the value it's putting in there needs to be this queued function still. And it's putting it in there, but now it needs to... Wait a second. Wait a second. Actually, it's going to call it and return it. I don't think I need to do anything special here. Because I have the cache. I don't. I need to put a cache on here so we're only ever doing it once. Okay, that's where this cache goes. Excuse me. There's my tools, okay. And then I don't need this function anymore. I just get rid of this. Well, do I? Okay, so there's a cache here on the queuefunc. Maybe that's not that expensive because it's just going to do the exact same thing that we're doing here. Oh, I see. We're manually constructing the key because it could be anything. And at least in the other case, we're allowing it to be anything. So we have a manual cache down here, in here. And then keep the manual cache. I'm going to call this change to key func here. Although, yeah, okay, it's fine. Layers of caching. I am curious. I see that there is one person viewing, and so I'm curious if that's someone that I know. And so if you're there, a roll call, say hi. And if you're just listening along and aren't really present, that's fine too. I think it's just nice to make a connection if anyone's there. So, okay, do I really want to keep this, decorate this cache, this custom key? I need to keep this custom key. Yeah, I don't think I want to replace that. This is just this. And this can go away. And we'll do it just like that. And this is going to be, I mean, maybe D get K, but maybe just D bracket K. And look at the result. And then, yeah, it won't be it'll just be the result. That work? It just worked. Finally. Okay. So, oh, because I kept the cache on that. I don't want to do that. That's why I have the custom cache. Okay, it's taking longer than I thought, or than I planned for anyway, but here we go. This one here, we're back to the same problem. I need to just add the path. That's a separate issue though. I think it's working though, so if I do the thing, it runs it, it's processing, it shouldn't be errors. None type, not subscribable. Okay, it's turning none. That's legit for the moment. Okay, and this is where we want the mock here. I believe if we do that unit test mock, I think that's just that unit test. And I think that we'll get. You know, hold on a second. What are you doing? Playlist.json. That's what's taking all this time here, so we're just going to run that, and then 1, 2, 3. I already did those 3. 3, and then boom, and boom. Why are you still like that? Oh, well, that's my problem. Test, the mock. I thought it was on here. Oh, okay, it's unit test.mock. Thanks, guys. Okay. But I thought that mock could be anything. It always returns the same thing. Sorry, I haven't used mock in a while. Oh, is it magic mock? Okay, magic mock. That's what I want. And what's the parameters for it? Return value is default anyway. So magic mock. Magic mocker. Okay, let's try here again. Okay. Let's trace a bunch of trash here. It's fine, but we want the return value equals rating, maybe? That do it? No. My theory is that this is still going to resolve here. Yeah, there it goes. So they do resolve. Why isn't magic mock showing the return value? Mock's called. Oh, okay. I don't want that though. I want the side effect. No. How do I get? I might have to actually manually. I think I do have to manually set the. Yeah. Okay, so even for Magic Mock, I have to, it's not like calling them. So it could be. Not quite. So this is going to be well, it works anyway. Well, I'm sorry. It doesn't not work. Base cases have already worked. Now, however, if we're going to try this, I look at temp, I've got my downloads. Now it should be also deduping stuff from what I have in this here. Oh, it's okay. Well, so that explains why it wasn't working before, or it was still calling things that was already downloaded. This should be YT downloads, but we're going to keep it for the moment because I actually do want to test this out. Now, how we're going to test this is we're going to say, well, just go ahead and do it, and it shouldn't hang my machine. It shouldn't spike it and have it be 1,000 processes. So let's find out. That's not so great. Okay. Well, minus that. So that's causing all kinds of problems. It is working, and it's causing problems. So let's try this again with debug and see if that. So it should not freeze even for these 3 seconds here. It definitely shouldn't do that. What's that? Errors. So okay, that's coming from inside of a thread, I guess. Look at it again. Okay, what are those? What is that? Still running. Oh. Okay, I know what's going on here. Let's get out of this. Still running. So we added this functionality within the past. When did this happen? Visidata threads. A couple of years. Okay, so it's already 2 years old. Wow. But the idea is we disabled running multiple threads on the same sheet. That's huge. Well, in every case now, that's the commands. You run one command, it spawns a thread, and then you run another command on the same sheet, and they're commands that modify the sheet in some way. And so you run 2 of those commands, and it they could compete. And so we basically turned it off. We're like, you know what, that's a problem. And it's been like I think it is actually modestly better anyway. Like it does stymie us sometimes, just like in this case where it makes things a little bit harder. But then the other case is that you're running a sort one way and a sort another way, and both of those are happening at the same time. And in that case, it'll actually do the right thing, but it shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to like delete this, undelete that, have them be going in two different threads. Anyway, when you're modifying the object to two different threads, you're going to be having a worse time. And so it's just better in general, I think anyway, what we got to is that this is safer to do this. Again, I'm not sure I like it, but we've had for 2 years, and it's the way it is. So, but now we're running the async thread, and it looks like it's on a sheet. That's the problem, isn't it? Is it? Basically, how is it working previously though, and why is it working sometimes with the other thing? Basically, this should have not. I think the issue is this async thread. And if it's not, first of all, I'm gonna remove this all using that. Yeah, if it's running it asynchronously, it attaches it to the sheet, which is kind of legit. It is legit. If you kill all the threads in the sheet, it should kill all those threads. It also shouldn't not do it. I'm going to turn this off for the moment and just see if it all works without that. So here we are, creating a column. It shouldn't freeze, but we'll deal with that. Oh, look at that, it's kind of working. And it has only spawned maximum 10 at a time. And we're just going all the way down. It's all more or less fine. Okay, so this is working. And the functionality that I just disabled up here, I guess I'm debating whether I should leave that off. Extracting. Why is it extract? Is that separate? Oh, I recorded. Oh, I see. That's separate. Okay, so that's fine. So there we go. This is legit. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all working. Okay, it's all working minus the magic mock, which I don't want that to show up. I want it to be at least like a waiting or some other indication, not this is garbage. And this other functionality we turned off here to only have one thread per sheet. Like I said, the thing I don't understand is why it seemed to work, or it did work, with the previous mechanism, and now it's causing problems. I feel like that it was just failing. It was getting, well, why was that failing? So anyway, let's fix the mock thing here. How hard can this be? So, magic mock, async mock, no. Return value. I mean, I guess I can just manually. Ugh, I don't want to. I want to have everything be all same here. Magic mock. Why? Maybe mock is the wrong idea. Maybe I do want to have. Huh. I basically want result to so complicated. Okay, all I really want. I'm gonna quit this here. All I really want from this mock here is showing that it's waiting. Like it's an object that's going to return. You know, I'm calling this or I'm returning this result here. They're kind of like mocking the function, except for anything you do. I mean, it really could just be a none. I'm overthinking this here. None. It'll be an error until it works. And it was better than the trash that was in there. So the only issue is that these functions, this one returns a tuple, so you got to structure it anyway. And then the tuple deconstructs into none, or waiting, something like that. It's still better to just return none. You know, okay, I can have this down here and be like, this is where I did want the called. Yeah, okay. No. I think I'm just going to be lazy about this here. I should probably address this 3 seconds of whatever stuff here. I don't know what's going on there. It's just, it doesn't look good though, does it? I mean, it's fine. It's just not right. Okay, well, it's working. Maximum of 10. Yeah, I like it. I do like it overall. And actually that number of threads should be probably the number of cores. Actually, you can check that in there. No. 10's fine. I mean, 5 would be fine probably too. 4 or 8, something like that. But another little trick here, I'm not sure if anybody is checking this out. In order to make sure you've touched everything, you can make this, you do like basically a frequency analysis on this column. Make sure everything's touched. And there's 12 that aren't done yet, and they're getting fixed now. Watch the process list go down. Pace, I believe. How do I want the... It's a good open question. How do I want the thing to be shown? Color working, max procs. You do a quick... I don't knock anymore. Add these things. Yes. Let's see. Cue funk. Yep. That's all legitimate. And like I said, the only... Do I have an XXX in here anywhere? No, I can't take that. I do want that. Okay. I don't have any XXXs in here. And anyway, so yeah, the fact that it takes a few seconds to start up is a little problematic when you add a new column. I'd like to investigate that and see what's going on. But for the moment, on this live stream anyway, I've been at this I don't know, hour 45 minutes, and I feel like I've at least gotten the core feature implemented to my satisfaction anyway. Like, you know, 3 seconds is irritating, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. And it does seem to work. And like I said, I would like to show waiting for result in the standard out thing here. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna ask Claude, my so-called friend Claude. Oh, am I not logged in over here? Well, okay, I guess I can't ask my friend Claude. So, yeah, the idea was, how do I make an object that no matter what you do to it, it returns the same value? Let's see here. Python object returns same value for any number. Let's try that. Something like that. And it might just be get adder returning, well, yeah. I think there's a clever way to do this, but I'm not in the mood at this moment to pull it out. So I'll do a little bit of research tonight out of for fun, I guess. But for the moment, like I said, I think that we've got it basically working, minus this thing I moved here. It's not none, this guy. I mean, I kind of don't like it anyway. Or, well, I have mixed things on it, I guess. And so I'll leave it in. If I leave it in, does it still give me problems even if I'm... Oh boy. Is it still running? Does that fail? Threading not in last command threads. I feel like... Ugh. I'm going to look at this actual git blame again. Maybe I do want to just turn this off. df git show this commit. .1148. Let's see here. Oh, right. Oh boy. So really it was saving is the issue. We shouldn't be doing anything if there's threads going, trying to save while threads are going. And we just heavy-handed and been like, you can't do anything, anything else is doing it. So we could undo that or change it to have a saving thing. Maybe I do reopen this bug. Fail modifying commands if there is a save in progress. Okay, yeah, I think I was a little too heavy-handed for this. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave this in for now, and then reopen it with an idea. I really don't like the fact that it's dumping this trash to the screen. That's an issue. I think it happens even if we... Yeah, so it's spawning a handful of threads here, and then gives a bunch of trash. So part of the issue... Oh, it's not it's in the bug. That's the problem. If I do this now, is it going to give me the same thing? No, hopefully. It does. No. Why is it dumping out of the screen? Huh. That's super interesting. Why would this fail? Maybe I want to do this manually here. Not the qfunc. Well, in the run to capacity here. when we run it, we actually have to run it. Kind of like, it's exactly an async. That's all it's doing. So let me just do that. I love coding on a Saturday. Okay. So why is my it's Paul. Okay. So we're calling this vdexec async thing here. So this is the vdexec qfunc here. So I'm hacking this around. This really should be proc equals vdexec async. And this is just going to be self.func, self.args, quargs. That should be fine, but that shouldn't do any different. Find out. If this magically fixes, I'm not going to complain, but I'd be surprised. Yeah, okay, good. So I think I'm going to add a bullshit parameter to here, although well, no, why is it dumping it out to the screen? Can we change the standard error? Why would it do that? So like I said, it wasn't doing it before. Well, it wasn't throwing errors before either, while running these. There's a chance that it's should be capturing everything. Well, the easiest solution is to actually fix this with the correct solution. She's not none. The exec async, we're going to do this. We're going to do this here. Oh, what? That's okay. Well, that doesn't matter if you're not using it, but still, that was wrong. We're gonna do self.quargs set the sheet equal to none, and that should solve this problem. It needs to be not the permanent solution. Rather fix 138. 148 is George Lucas's movie. Okay, so that did fix it, which makes total sense to me. Well, no, it didn't, did it? Oh, now it's an infinite loop. No, it's not. It's also slow to respond. Oh! Okay, my load is now huge. 116, so that actually broke it. Huh. And it's still going up? Are you? Okay, so they're still running, so it didn't actually wind up killing them all. That's problematic. Well, that's even more worrisome, because I would have expected at least this queuing method to work here. So we call the run on it only when we're running into capacity. I see, because the unfinished threads aren't on a sheet, so now it actually thinks there's never any unfinished threads. Okay, so we can't actually do it that way. Okay, so we just can't do it any way with the proper way here. So this is going to be 148. Okay, I'm going to leave this for the moment. And I think that's still a good change, I think, here. This, however, we have to fix that. So yeah, so I'm going to stop for the moment, and then I will either fix it now or later on or whatever, come back on a live stream. Anyway, I'm not sure. I think no one's watching at the moment, but if anyone comes by later, I am planning on starting up live streaming again on weekdays around 2 p.m. Pacific time. So I look forward to seeing you there, and have a good weekend. I'll see you next time. Cheers.